как следует. Good play by Chelsea. The two passes taken out 5 Barcelona players and had them on the back foot, but as soon as Azpilicueta checks back, they all get back into position. But good play to advance us higher up the park.
Kovacic. Trying to impose himself on the game, got away from Busquets nicely, and then wasn't quite on the same wavelength with Abraham.
That's unlucky, you know, because I think Tammy's made a good little run here. I'm not sure if his foot just slipped, but Mason obviously strong enough to keep the ball in that midfield area as well, which is important.
Those two on opposite sides at Wembley in the Championship playoff final. Challenge on Mount there, which has left him down and hurt. Referee, happy there was nothing illegal about it.
It was a close call, wasn't it? Possibly a heavy challenge from TT, but some Mason's okay.
Doing well. Making sure that Sergio Roberto couldn't make any further progress.
Nice and sharp there, Emerson. I think the games that he's been playing, he's got sharper and sharper as the games have gone on. Obviously, he understands there's competition between him and Alonso. He has been putting in a shift for me, Emerson.
And he looks like an out-and-out left-back, doesn't he, in a way that Alonso generally flourished as a left-sided midfield player rather than a defender.
I think that's probably, yeah, historically that's what Alonso has done, isn't it? But sure, he looks more like the left-back. The only thing I would say for the goal against Kawasaki Frontale the other night, he just wandered out of position, Emerson, whereas if you had Alonso at the far post, might have made the difference.
Here's Pulisic, good position to have a go here. Christian Pulisic, and Abraham should have put Chelsea in front, but lifted it over the crossbar.
Yep, there's your chance, there's your chance, and if you don't take them, sometimes they're not forgotten. Pulisic does really well here, gets into a great position. Poor marking initially by Barcelona, but what he does well is he ducks inside and gets the shot away. Ter Stegen completely made a hash of it, in my opinion. Should have done better, but there's the opportunity for Tammy just to tap home.
Now Barcelona coming forward at the other end with Puig. There's Jordi Alba. To Griezmann, swing and a miss from him.
Well, there's only one player who's going to pick out there, wasn't it? Jordi Alba. Griezmann makes a great run and we don't stay with him. I think we're a bit fortunate. How often does that happen though? 30 seconds after you've had a chance at one end, goes down the other end and the opponent score. Thankfully it didn't happen.
Jorginho. Abraham coming up to halfway and moving it up effectively. It's through to Mount. Good challenge first time from Umtiti, then he completely messed it up and Mount has a go. And didn't miss by much from a fair distance from goal.
As well there, Mason, doesn't he? The ball into him wasn't the best, but he made something out of it. And all of a sudden he gets an opportunity possibly to get the shot away a little bit earlier. Yeah, he does really well initially. Umtiti's all over the place. He's got options there as well. You know, he's got Tammy up with him, Pulisic with him as well, but not frightened to take the shot on, just rising over the crossbar. But this was a challenge he did really well. And TT makes a complete hash of it. Not sure what he's trying to do there. But sets it up for the drive here, Mason, and gets it away well. One of those where you talk about opportunities with Tammy's a few moments ago. That's one you'd love to see Mason just smash that into the top corner.
Goals, 6 assists in 44 games for Derby last season. Mount, a good return from midfield. Up against Tammy Abraham.
Just coming back from an offside position. It's one of those easy for the assistant referee on the far side to see that happening. Sammy's doing his best to get in front of his man, but delays it slightly.
Busquets wearing the captain's armband for Barcelona today. Sergio, that is. Him historically as a water carrier in this Barcelona team, but he's got a bit more about him than that. Developed his game as his career's gone on. Sergio Busquets. There's Jordi Alba, lovely first touch. Ronaldo taking over. To work that to Collado. Barcelona have got a throw in. Wasn't a good ball from Piqué from right to left.
Yeah, not the biggest of players, is he, Jordi Alba, but he does manage to keep it on the field there. Collado does win the throw in higher up the park, foul throw as well. I suppose we're going to say that a few times this season, Matt.
I think we'll let them get away with it in friendlies.
Bad habits.
Sloppy there with the ball at his feet, easy for Emerson to take it off him. Here's Pulisic.
Just proves it again, you know, you cannot afford to have a poor touch, lose control of the ball, just let it run away from you a little bit, you know, in these sorts of games against top-class players. Emerson nice and close, gets his foot in, and all of a sudden Dembele's given the ball away. And, you know, those small things like that are important for clubs like Barcelona, who pass the ball for fun, who keep it for as long as possible. It's just sloppy play by Dembele.
Looked a genuine world beater at Dortmund, but really hasn't happened for him yet at Barcelona. He's only 22. That's Piliqueta, good ball in for Pulisic. He couldn't get his shot on target, and thereafter Abraham couldn't get a toe to it to steer it goalward.
It's one of those, isn't it? I mean, it's really, really well worked. It's got good football by Chelsea. Mason getting himself into that pocket of space between the lines. This is a great ball in by Pedro. Cesar Azpilicueta. It's a great ball in. It's picked him out, and he's got time to think about it. But he hasn't made the contact really that he wanted. But you have to say, players getting into good positions. I like the movement. Foul throw. I'll stop saying that now.
That was a very foul throw. Here's Jorginho. Well, coming up to half an hour gone. Chelsea have had the better of the opportunities, no doubt about that. The team's having periods in the game where they're on top. I'm sure that was a foul by Pedro, but it's not my opinion that matters.
It's unlucky, isn't it? And again, a good closing down in midfield by 2 or 3 players there. Just giving Barcelona less time to think about the next pass. Again, they're working hard to close down, and Titi's pass not good enough. Chelsea able to get possession back.
Luis with that incredible range of passing, almost managed to pick out Pedro. He's got on the ball eventually.
Well, we haven't seen it so far today. That's the first one from David Luiz. We know he's got it in his locker all day long, but he's been brilliant with it so far pre-season. Certainly is a good asset.
Emerson, all sorts of space on this near side. Hustling on El Busquets. And Sergio Roberto. Piqué under pressure then from Pedro.
I just thought Emerson made that difficult. You know, his first touch was excellent. Good ball out by Kovacic. There's a great run in behind, and I think when we're trying to stretch teams, just put it in there behind it. It's a simple pass, but he comes inside and everything's closed down. If he opens up his body, just slots it down the line, all of a sudden we're reacting in the middle of the pitch. So I think he needs to do that more, you know, because he's going to get that from players like Tammy.
Oriol Busquets, 11 years junior of Sergio. As I said at the start, they're not related. Oriol's brother is a footballer though, he's a goalkeeper. Jordi Alba. Griezmann found a little pocket of space, and then he found Dembele and he let fly, and Pedro got the block in.
It's brilliant, Pedro. You know what? I mean, how many medals and trophies has this guy got? Look at the work, mate. Absolutely terrific. He's got such a love for the game. It's infectious. Really gets a good block in here. All of a sudden, Dembele in front of goal, edge of the box, on his stronger left foot. Just thought this was going to be down to Kepa making a save, but super play by Pedro.
Just the 20 trophies in his time at Barcelona.
Just 20. Wow.
That's before we mentioned the World Cup, Euros, Premier Leagues, Europa Leagues, FA Cups. Just everything, basically. He's just won everything. PK up to Dembele. That's a nice turn. Good ball to Griezmann too. Ronaldo's cross blocked at close quarters by Azpilicueta.
Challenging player, Griezmann, isn't he? Just the weight of that pass to Corrado was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think he was just sitting it there saying to him, do you know what, if you want to hit this first time, I'll just leave it in there for you to bounce nicely. You know, some players will sort of knock that across quickly, so he'd have to take a touch, and then they make their movement for the next ball coming in, but he just left it for him, left it with the choice that he takes 1 or 2 touches. You know, that's that thought of the pass which is so important.
Titi up to halfway before he put the brakes on. Azpilicueta using all of his nous to keep Collado in his pocket. Luis, he's got a goal against Barcelona in his past. Scored for PSG in a 3-2 win in the Champions League group stage a few years back. Now doing his best to unsettle Oriol Busquets. Nice interplay between Jorginho and Kovacic. This is Emerson. Abraham trying to peel away from Umtiti in the middle. Referee playing advantage. Kovacic bashed it in hard at Pedro. Flag had gone up anyway.
Yeah, I just wonder again, you know, we spoke about Emerson a few moments ago, you know, the opportunity to keep the play moving. Great interplay in midfield between Jorginho and Kovacic. Eventually the ball comes out to Emerson. That's where you've got to make ground. You've got to get up towards the edge of their penalty area. And by slowing the game down in that position and coming inside, you're sort of inviting Barcelona to take control of the situation. Great play.
And Abraham round the goalkeeper, and Chelsea go in front. Ter Stegen came out, but Abraham kept his cool, slotted it in, and puts the Blues ahead just after the half hour. Excellently worked goal, and Abraham able to finish it off. He's taken his chance. Chelsea in front in the Saitama Stadium.
Well, again, work rate. Jorginho closes it down. Busquets just sloppy in that area. But this is all about Tammy Abraham. The ability to just, well, with ease, to be honest, to ride it past Ter Stegen. Yeah, the pressure's on. He's just missed one a few moments ago, but he's done it with ease. He's looked so comfortable. He's relaxed. Busquets makes a terrible error there. But this is lovely footwork by Tammy Abraham. Keeps his balance well. Ter Stegen's come out, committed himself, and Tammy's finished it really, really well. I'm so pleased for him.
Right foot, left foot, goal. Simple as that. But credit to Jorginho. one thing to nick the ball, but to pass it with your first touch to Tottenham in.
I think he was just putting his foot in to try and make the challenge, and the ricochet went that particular way. So I think that was a bonus, especially for Tammy. But there was no way Jorginho should have got close enough to Busquets from when the ball was first passed. He was so far off, not by choice, but just one of those things. But he gambled and he pushed in, and Busquets dwelt on the ball, and by doing that, it gave him the opportunity. That's, for me, a rarity from Busquets, but that's what it cost you. It cost you a goal.
And all of a sudden, that miss of, 15 minutes ago, totally irrelevant now.
Of course, yeah. And people will say, well, Tammy will tell you, he was just warming up. Needed one chance to get himself going, but you know what? He's finished that so well. You know, it's be a nice feeling for him. You know, he'll feel so much better. You know, you spoke earlier about the 20-odd goals, 26 goals he scored last season. In some ways, that's a great thing to have in your locker, but it's almost historical. If he's going to make the step up to Chelsea's first team and play on a regular basis in the Premier League, then that's in the past. So start doing it now at this level against a team like Barcelona. Wow, doing the world of good.
Here's Griezmann. Yeah, that's the thing, as impressive as it is, there will always be the asterisk of, well, that was the Championship, this is going to be the Premier League.
Still getting it today, I am. It's true, you know, people still say to me, well, you know, some of your years at Chelsea was in the second division, you know, the old second division, and, you know, I scored goals in the old second division, and people don't stop reminding you of that. So, you know, that's what Tammy is up against, and he's quite capable of doing it when he shows us quality like that.
Well, Sergio Busquets will say it's the first game of pre-season, I'm a bit rusty, but that is not the kind of error you would have expected him to make.
Well, it's not. You know, it's a surprise. With his experience, I'm surprised. I'm surprised because, A, Jorginho's not the quickest. He will close down, of course. He'll close down as a team, as a group. But he's not the quickest over 10, 12 yards. And Busquets, when the pass was made, he must have been 12 yards away. But he's made up that ground, which tells you Busquets was sloppy and lazy in what he did.
Yes, Mason! Mason!
Christensen. Got plenty of trust in Jorginho to give it to him inside his penalty area with two players close by. Can Emerson get to this? Oh, not quite.
Yeah, probably could have made an extra pass, but in saying that, I think Pedro's done the right thing. Open the game out quite quickly. Try and make the pass if you can. Just overcooked it slightly.
From Chelsea forcing Ter Stegen to go long. And Dembele not really at the pace of the game. David Luiz going on a wander. Now he's got to wander back.
That's interesting, isn't it? You know, you can understand. Initially, David Luiz thought he should get a free kick. I think when players feel they should get one, they come back with a vengeance, and that's what he's done. And every time he went to make the challenge, it was just a little bit too far from him to make that challenge. This was good initially, great play here. The sliding challenge there didn't really cause him too many problems. I don't think it's a foul, he's lost possession, but it's this bit. He thinks he's going to get back at it, it doesn't quite make it, then he runs another 10 yards, and eventually it's a foul, and I think the referee's made the right decision.
Straight over 5 minutes of the first half to go. Tammy Abraham's goal on 35, giving Chelsea the advantage.
I think also, I mean, we must understand it's Barcelona's first game, and I think our work rate, we say it, don't we, when we played against other teams that have been starting their league games already and are much fitter than us. Oh, great play.
Lovely stuff from Pulisic. Now, is he going to go all the way? He doesn't have much support, so he might as well. And he hits the side of the net rather than the back of it. I think he made the right decision in going for goal himself, though.
I think any player in that position would go for goal. However, when they miss the target, the criticism will always come in, because he's got an opportunity. It's not too wide. It's got to force the goalkeeper into making a save. And there was support if he'd have just stopped on the ball and turned, but he wasn't to know that. He had to go for goal, made the right decision, just the wrong execution.
A bit like we've seen enough in this game and in the second half against Frontale to get excited about Christian Pulisic, though. Definitely see why Chelsea worked so hard to get into the club.
We certainly have, you know, and it's one of those where as a Chelsea fan you want to see more, and let's hope we do over the next few pre-season friendlies, you know, because, you know, decisions will be made, opinions will be given. Well, if the formation is what we think it might be, as 4-2-3-1, then there's certainly a slot there for him, and he's certainly showing how he can play.
Pedro, running Jorginho, gave it back. Clumsy from Titi, no foul.
I think it's just a strong challenge.
Here's Dembele. It's Dembele, it's straight at Kepa. Griezmann saying, why didn't you return it back my way?
I think I'm glad it was Dembele and not Griezmann in that situation. Although you'd have to say on his stronger left foot, Dembele, he's forced to save, which is probably the main thing he needs to do in that situation.
Jorginho went over and yelped, again no free kick given.
Just barged in from behind, wasn't he? Well, we often say it, don't we, when we're playing teams that have started their, well, have got their fitness before we have pre-season. We've got our fitness before Barcelona today, and I think that's shown. I think our intensity has been a bit quicker, sharper, brighter.
Something wrong from Jorginho there, though. No foul on Dembele.
Mason got the ball there. That's what the referee thought, anyway.
That's to Liqueta. Pedro. Abraham wants it edge of the box. Pulisic was in the middle. Corner will have to suffice.
And again, good choices. Good choices for Liqueta. Worked the ball really well, didn't we? Moved it forward nicely. We're patient with it. Pedro been an influential figure today, hasn't he, in this first half? And good to see choices of players running near post, far post, one checking out a little bit deeper. Emerson coming up on the far side, which thought he should have got a little bit closer in, but you know, it's coming. Actually getting players in good areas, and once you do that, deliveries come in, goals are scored.
With the ball in, Sergio Roberto got it away. Alba looking for Dembele. Emerson made sure he couldn't get it.
Importantly won that ball, to be fair, Emerson. Don't mind what he did with it. Barcelona on the counter-attack, they had players in good areas there. So importantly got there.
Busquets. Barca looking for an equaliser before the half-time whistle blows, but they haven't worried Kepa particularly. Dembele shot on target but comfortably saved. A couple of half chances other than that, but it's Chelsea have looked by far the bigger goal threat and who have the lead.
I tend to agree. I think it's been a good opening performance in this 45 minutes, and Chelsea will be more than happy to be a goal in front. The shape of the side for me was one of the most important factors. We spoke about it pre-kick-off. It's important we find the shape that Frank wants to play. Well, looking at this performance, the shape looks okay. The question is, who fits in the slot?
Busquets. Into first half stoppage time. Barca have to get on with it if they want to threaten Kepa's goal. Griezmann linking up with Jordi Alba. Griezmann again. Decided to have a go himself.
I think he was aware that the half-time whistle was coming and desperate to get a shot away. Probably wrong angle to do that, but his movement's excellent, isn't it, Griezmann? Once he lays the ball off, look at the movement to find that space in the box. Yes, it's a tight angle and almost impossible to beat Kepa from there, but there we see the touch. Look at the movement when he spins out, gets the ball back again. They'll be a formidable forward line, aren't they, Barcelona, when the other players come back?
Depending on which paper you read and believe, they're trying to get Neymar back too, potentially. Suarez, Messi, Coutinho still to add in, although Coutinho might not be a Barcelona player for much longer. Nicely done from Kovacic.